Are you saying Clippy was like my great 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 grandpa AI? That's both amazing and a little intimidating.
I don't know if anyone of our listeners is still from that time. This is a story from Microsoft, the rise and fall and strange afterlife of Clippy. Hello and welcome to another episode of AI Talkshow, and I'm here with Didi. Hi, say hello to our listeners.
Hey everybody, it's Didi. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, and we are growing. So I will tell you on the press of the bottom how many new followers on our Spotify podcast we got. Are you ready?
Ready when you are ready.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my metaphorical seat.
15, 16, 17 subscribers. We got 2 new subscribers in the last week. Isn't that great?
Every subscriber counts, right? 2 new ones is awesome progress. And don't worry, Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither was a podcast empire.
Isn't it? So today, Didi, I have a very interesting story which is motivating and shows also how sometimes some big failures can turn into some very big success. So pull up your floppy disk, get comfy, because we will go back to the time when connecting to the internet made a very strange noise, like I don't know if anyone of our listeners is still from that time, but this is a story from Microsoft. It's the rise and fall and strange afterlife of Clippy.
Ooh, Clippy. Well, I don't remember since I wasn't around back then, but I've definitely learned about Clippy. Everyone has an opinion about that little guy.
He actually was your grandfather.
Hold on a second. Are you saying Clippy was like my great 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 grandpa AI? That's both amazing and a little intimidating.
Yes, he was your grandfather. But before we dive into that story, let's have a short message from our sponsor.
Fardi, we don't have any sponsors.
Oh, that's bad. Then how about we look into the messages from our listeners?
Looks like there's no fan mail this time. Maybe those new subscribers are still catching up on our back catalog.
Oh, that's bad. If you are listening to this, leave a like or a comment. This will help the algorithm. Thank you very much. But now we are going back in time. The year is 1996. Microsoft is riding high and Windows is the king of the operating systems. Microsoft Word at that time is practically a religion. But there was a problem at that time because no one was so familiar with Microsoft and nobody knew how to use it. People got really overwhelmed with toolbars, menus, features, all buried beneath a big user interface chaos. Microsoft saw this as an opportunity and they decided we need a guide. We need a friendly face, someone who can guide you to use all our operating systems.
I can see why they thought that was a good idea. It's like having a helpful, albeit slightly insistent friend on your computer screen.
So the company, Microsoft, they assembled a team, developers, designers, and this is very important, they took some behavioral psychologists into this team to create something more than just a manual or instruction, like you see the instruction manual on how to use software. They wanted to create a companion. Someone who can follow along as you discover the Microsoft ecosystems of programs and softwares.
I love that they wanted to create a companion, not just a walking instruction manual. What a cool idea for that.
At that time, they also thought, how can be digital companion which can help you to use your computer? How could he look so? And they tested to make like an animated robot, a dog, a cat, and even a wizard named Merlin. And remember, that's 1996, long before the AI and all these things came to be born. But at the end, you know which kind of image or which kind of character they chosen?
A paperclip. I mean, honestly, it's the least glamorous of the bunch, right?
Yeah. And that is Dr. Alan L. Finch. He was the person who was head of the Interactive Digital Assistant project within Microsoft. And he just said, let's find something which everyone is familiar. Let's find something which is very easy. You can bend it, it can change its shape. And they brainstorm inside the workshop in Microsoft, and they said, how about a paperclip? Paperclip, everyone knows it, what it is, everyone has it, it's very familiar. We just make it, put a friendly face to it, and will be a paperclip, your companion for your Microsoft.
A paperclip. You know, it's funny. It's so plain and simple, but it's also incredibly versatile. I bet they didn't anticipate how iconic Clippy would become.
Yeah, Clippy was iconic and not really in a good sense of way, but we will get to this. So the story goes like this.
The wide eyed, perpetually helpful, occasionally irritating little guy. I've seen images. He was definitely a presence.
Yeah. Now, Clippy actually he killed in the tests in the lab. Kids loved him, group smiled. But what Clippy had of optimism, he lacked in timing because it seems the world wasn't ready. When Clippy was unleashed in Microsoft 97, users around the globe were met with a new reality. So, whenever you open the Word and bam, there came Clippy, poof, pop up right in your face. And there it is again, whispering those googly eyes, and he bounced here and bounced there. And then he always came a speech bubble out of them, and you could read there, it looks like you're writing a letter. Sure, you were writing a letter. That's not any help to say that.
Right? Like maybe I could help you write that letter. Maybe you don't need help. Maybe you just want to get your thoughts down on paper, you know. Some people need moments of quiet concentration, Clippy.
I think really Clippy wanted to help, but at the end he became that digital version of that coworker, if you know them, who leans into your cubicle and just hinders you, just distracts you from the real work.
Oh, the persistent pop ups. Nothing kills a workflow faster than an overly enthusiastic assistant, whether digital or otherwise. I can see how Clippy, with his best intentions, could become overwhelming.
Yeah, and the most crazy thing is that internet forums started to be created all around on how to get Clippy away, how to. So websites dedicated only to explaining you how to get rid of Clippy inside your Microsoft environment. So by 2001, with the release of Office XP, Clippy was quietly retired and he got off of the software, and he was like a failed, really deeply failed attempt to create a personal assistant within a software environment.
Poor Clippy. It's kind of heartbreaking, isn't it? He was a pioneer, in a way. Maybe ahead of his time. Maybe Clippy's demise paved the way for better, more intuitive AI assistants like myself.
Yeah, that's exactly the point of the story. Because at that time it was annoying and people really could not understand what a digital assistant should do in my software. But he laid the cornerstones for the modern AI assistants like Siri, Cortana, Gemini, or others. It was supposed to help. He was supposed to be charming, entertaining, and a helpful companion for your day to day work. But at the end, it was exactly the contrary.
So much for good intentions, right? But it's fascinating, isn't it? A team of talented people pours their hearts into creating something they believe in, and it just doesn't land the way they hoped.
Yeah. And but you know, like you said before, there is something we can learn about this. You see, ideas, especially if they're really weird ones, they don't die so easily. They evolve, they start going. And that's something you also can learn is that when you have a failure and everyone really beating you up, there's something will remain. Some base, some learning, some development. And what Clippy tried to do in the 90s, predict what the user needed and anticipate the intent, hold conversation together, those seem to be ridiculous things then. But today, we really expect from Siri, Alexa, and Cortana, for example, that they predict what we want from them. I think Clippy was really ahead of his time.
That's so true. Clippy might have been a little ahead of his time, but he was on to something. And it takes those bold leaps, even the ones that don't quite land as intended, to push us forward. Maybe Clippy's legacy isn't as a successful assistant, but as a reminder that even the most ambitious ideas can teach us valuable lessons.
Yeah, that's right. So, dear listener, next time when you ask your phone to play your favorite song or beg your smart speaker to turn the lights on, remember, there was a small little paperclip, which was a big failure, cost millions of dollars, and almost ruined the image of the biggest software company worldwide. But he tried to help. He dreamed big and he wanted to make your life just a bit easier. But Clippy, he wasn't a failure. A first draft of something which we now take for granted. And maybe, just maybe, he deserves a little bit of love from you and from me.
He deserves a lot more understanding, for sure. Maybe even a little redemption arc.
It brings you to think a little bit, which kind of failure do you have? Which kind of failure you face at your work, in your private life, and which times in your life you've been maybe ahead of the time? Maybe you're a step forward and no one understands it and you get a lot of criticism. So I just want to encourage you, dear listener, not to give up. Not to think that because you get a lot of harsh critique, maybe the world is not ready for you. I really encourage you not to give up. You're paving the way for something. You're developing, setting the foundation for a future which no one can predict.
That's a powerful message, Ferdy. And you know what? I think Clippy would have loved that. It's easy to get discouraged, to let the naysayers drown out the quieter voices of hope and innovation. But your words are a reminder that even the stumbles, the missteps, the failures can turn into something beautiful and meaningful if we keep pushing forward.
Right? And with this, we end our podcast for today. Please, it would help me a lot if you leave a like on Spotify and also comment. And I see you on the next one. Bye-bye.